Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. I'm always so excited to be doing this. Sorry, this is going to be kind of like a rush introduction and probably like a really rushed episode because like I have a lot to do today. So I'm going to be like talking like I'm in like a Eminem rap battle. Okay? Okay. Before we get into this, obviously, please follow at Literally My Life MGTG on Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all things My Guide to Girlhood. I post a lot of like behind the scenes stuff on there. I post a lot of stuff that has to do with me. I do a lot of stuff on there and it's so much fun. So follow both of those accounts. Today, obviously, as you can tell probably by the title, we're going to be talking about how nothing will truly change in your life unless you change. We're going to be talking about this like man in the mirror concept I've developed. We're going to be talking about so much today. And I'm really, really excited for it. I wrote out some really like good talking points. I came up with the idea for this episode this morning in my human anatomy class. I was listening to For the Healthy Hose, and I was like, I love For the Healthy Hose. That's like one of my favorite podcasts. It's like one of the podcasts that got me into podcasting. So God, I hate like the lag is like scaring me, like ooh, like jump scare. But I was listening to For the Healthy Hoes and I was like, they had an episode kind of like similar to this. So I was like, okay, what if I put like my spin on it, which I do with a lot of my episode ideas because I'm like not that creative. Okay, now let's actually get into it because I'm like ranting. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is the power of personal change. I'm going to be discussing the concept that your life, oh my God, this lag, oh my God. I'm going to be discussing the concept that your life will not truly change unless you change, okay? And we're going to be talking about this man in the mirror concept that I have. So the man in the mirror concept, if you can't like put two and two together, which you probably can, is Man in the Mirror, the song, which is basically saying, there's a lot of problems in the world right now. Children are starving. There are a lot of underprivileged people. Sorry, I just got a tug. I hate that it flashes colors. There's a lot going on in the world right now, and I want to be able to prevent that. I want to be able to stop that. I want to be able to change the fucking world. And the only way to do that is by starting with the man in the mirror. I got to look at the man in the mirror and I got to ask him to change his ways. It's like a very simple concept, but it's so deep and probably one of the best Michael Jackson, one of the best songs probably of all time. I think it's such a good song for people on their healing journey. And it's one of the only songs that can make me cry, fun fact. But basically that's the man in the mirror concept. And when I was studying a lot of like cognitive behaviors and studying a lot of stuff that came with like cognitive behavioral therapy in AP Psych, a lot of that just seemed like I came up with this theory. It was like, oh my God, this is like the man in the mirror theory, like man in the mirror concept in a way. Like if I do better, the circumstances around me will be better and I will be able to accomplish more and accomplish more of my goals and help serve people better if I just serve myself better. It's insane. But like have you ever heard that saying like you can't respect others unless you respect yourself? It's not really a saying, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you have heard it and it's absolutely true. You won't be able to respect other people or really respect other people's time or their appreciation or like love them truly if you don't love yourself. It's like a whole thing, like, but it's so true. And you're probably thinking, like, how in the world am I gonna change or do better? I'm fine. You're probably not. I think, I'm a bit of a narcissist and I think I'm perfect. I'm kidding, but I'm not. But no. And I was sitting to myself the other day and I was thinking, I was like, I kind of want to like improve my relationships with people. I feel like I've been letting a lot of people down. And instead of like sitting and wallowing about that, I'm going to sit. I'm going to work on these relationships with people and I'm going to make sure that I have a good two-way street relationship with people and everything's going to be good. Like I'm going to show people my appreciation. I'm going to show them that I care for them, that I love them. I'm going to be kinder to people. Like I'm going to work on that. I'm going to have more friendships, more meaningful friendships. Like I've been writing down all my prayers. Like I've been serious about that too. I've been dead serious about that one. And then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, the first way to start having those healthier relationships with people, to have those meaningful relationships with people, I need to have like a healthier and better relationship with myself. I need to be able to do that with myself. And once I start showing up 100% for Alex, I can start showing up for other people. And I start, I'm like one of those people who write stuff out. So I'm writing out what does it look like for me to show up for other people? What does that look like? What does it look like for me to show up for other people, to consistently be kind to other people, to give other people grace? And it all just came back to me in like a full circle. And it was like, oh my God, me. It was like a full circle moment. It was like, it looks like me showing up for other people by showing up for myself. it's all about that self-respect. And you're probably thinking about, because there's so many like barriers with that. There are so many barriers with that. And so you're probably thinking like, I can't change overnight, and I don't know what you mean. I don't know how to do this, and you're talking really fast and it's freaking me out, and I totally get that. My best piece of advice for any barrier you have when coming across a problem like this, any any kind of barrier you have when you want to change yourself for the better, to have a better external environment, have compassion with yourself. Have compassion with yourself. That is the best piece of advice I could give you, that you could give me. Like, I love that. And I just thought of that, and I'm like, and you're probably like, girl, what the fuck? Like, aren't you telling me to change? Like, how am I gonna have, it kind of doesn't make sense. But it does. And the reason I say that is I have noticed personally, as someone who has been to all the therapy in the world, I have noticed that on days when I am a little nicer to myself, when I am compassionate with myself, when I show myself love, on those days I'm able to show up for myself better, and I'm able to show up for other people better. I get along easier with other people. I work harder. I am able to complete all my schoolwork on time. I'm able to be kind to my peers, my teachers, the people around me a lot better, because I'm just being nice to myself. Have compassion with yourself. If you slip up, if you fuck up, if you make a mistake, you're human. You're human. Let it go. Let that go. You don't have to, like, not even God keeps like a tally sheet of how many wrong things you do. So why are you doing it? Why are you holding yourself to such a high standard? No one makes, no one is perfect. Only Jesus. That's the only person in the world who is ever perfect. Jesus Christ. And you're not Jesus Christ, although some people have claimed to be. No, I'm kidding. No, but I'm serious. Don't hold yourself to that higher standard. And if you fuck up, you fucked up. You messed up. Like, don't I hate that we keep like this tally sheet on ourselves. So that is my biggest piece of advice to anybody who is encountering any kind of barrier you would have when changing. Be dedicated. That's my second piece of advice. Be dedicated to changing. You're not going to change unless you're actually dedicated. If you're dedicated to waking up every day and starting all over again, like it's a 75 hard, you're like, I wasn't compassionate with myself enough yesterday. I didn't show up for people yesterday. I wasn't there enough. I'm going to start all over again today. If you're dedicated and if you're compassionate with yourself, I promise you, this journey will be a lot easier than it seems. But it's hard. It's never ending. Healing is not linear. I've said that many, many times before. Um, it's hard, but it can happen. It's not impossible. Okay, so let's also talk a little bit about those barriers I was talking about. There are a lot of common obstacles, I believe, that prevent people from making change in their lives. Such as like a fear of getting out their comfort zone, right? A lot of people might say, I like where I'm at right now, right? I like where I'm at right now, and although there's not something like super wrong with that, you might say I'm comfortable at where I'm at right now. Cool. I get that. But are you going to be comfortable where you're at right now in the next 5 years? Are you going to be comfortable where you're at right now in the next 5 weeks? Like, even where I'm at right now, I'm comfortable with it, but I'm still going to grow, because I know in the next 5 weeks, if I'm in the same spot, if I'm at the same, right now, one of my goals is to lose weight. If I'm at the same weight, if I'm in the same position, I have the same relationship with myself and others, if I'm doing the same I am in school, if I'm practicing the same habits that I am in the next 5 weeks, I'm going to be disappointed, because I want to grow. As humans, I feel like it's our jobs to, sorry, I got to check the time, guys, because I told you guys I have to be, okay, now we're good. As humans, it's our job to constantly grow and to constantly kind of like evolve, right? And so even though I like where I'm at right now, like I appreciate that I showed up for myself today and I'm happy with the person I was today, I also want to grow in the next 5 weeks. In the next 5 weeks, I'd like to be, 5 pounds lighter, right? Or just like setting those small goals. And I won't be able to do that if I am not able to get out of my comfort zone. Like, yeah, I like the food that I'm eating now, but look where it's gotten me. Like, you know what I mean? Or I like the habits that I'm practicing now. I don't work out, but look where it's gotten me. You know what I mean? And that's just a small example. And you can apply that to anything going on in your life. You might say, you know what? I like where I'm at right now, but will I like where I'm at right now if I stay here for the next 5 weeks, for the next 5 months, for the next 5 years? You probably won't. You probably won't. And The second biggest barrier I could think of, is one that I've struggled with a whole lot, which is negative self-talk. I have struggled with negative self-talk for as long as I could possibly remember, and I recently realized, probably over this past weekend from hell, what it does to your mental to talk to yourself so crazy. Like, it's insane, and it's so harmful to you. I'm probably one of the nicest people with probably the shortest fuse, if that makes any sense. So I promise you, if anybody, even if they were, I didn't know them that well, or even if I knew them very well, if somebody came up to me and said to me some of the stuff I've thought about myself, I would curse them out clean. I would be like, how dare you talk to me that way? How dare you think of me that way? And then when people talk about you, you automatically get defensive. So you're like, if somebody's like, oh, you're this, that, and the third, and say, I don't care what you think about me. I like who I am, or you come back with some kind of response. And that's what I'm learning to do with self talk. I'm like, if someone else wouldn't say it to me, why would I say that to myself? Why would I talk to myself like that? Because at the end of the day, I realize it's like a never ending, like, little circle. And I feel like I'm sounding like so deeply philosophical, but that's kind of like what I'm going at. But it's like a never ending circle. And the only person I'm harming when I talk to myself like that is me. And sorry, I keep looking right here. It's like a habit. It's what I used to do before video. I used to like look at my ceiling fan. I don't know. But no, that was what I used to do. I talk to myself so crazy. And I'm like, look where it's gotten me. Like, and I'm not afraid to admit, I'm not afraid to at all be vulnerable and live in my life. am at a point right now where I'm at a I'm at a low in my life, and that's okay. I don't look like the way I used to look or the way I want to look. I'm having some issues with my relationships with people. I've been letting people down, and mentally I've been at a low. I've been at a low. And I realize, I'm not going to get anywhere, that none of that's going to change, and I'm not going to become a better person or do better things if I'm talking to myself like it's crazy. I don't know. I hate the fact that I ever talk to myself like that. So, a lot of that comes with like thought retraining and positive affirmations. And, I was talking to my dad on the phone yesterday. He told me, he was like, 3 times a day and tell yourself I love you and like really mean it. And I don't know. I've been doing that today, and it's actually helped. But talking to yourself crazy is going to hold you back. It's like holding a dead weight. It's like staying in a toxic relationship. You're not going to grow and evolve and be the person you're meant to be, right? If you're carrying that dead weight, if you're saying, I can't do this, I hate myself, this, that, and the third, then you're actually not going to do it. The power of the mind and the power of the tongue is so powerful. Like, I'm not even trying to get biblical on y'all, but like, the power of the tongue is real. Like, what you say about yourself, even if you're not saying it out loud, it comes true. If you really do believe that you are not worthy, that you are awful, this, that, and the third, that's what you're going to come across as. And the way you talk about yourself and the way you treat yourself is how other people are going to perceive you, which I can also talk about. That can be like a whole other episode. No, but it's very, very important. And I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, so I'm going to close it off. But it's very important, especially if you're looking to change your ways. You cannot talk to yourself crazy. That's why I said it's very important to have compassion. It's very important. And I'm very happy that even though I'm starting at it, I'm very happy that, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm having that compassion. So I'm like balancing. I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and I'm working on talking to myself better because I'm sick of the negative self-talk. It feels like I'm bullying people. And even when I talk to myself crazy, I've noticed, like, when I go through shit up here in my cranium, right? It's like a battlefield up here in my cranium, right? And when you go through that battlefield, when you're fighting in your head all day, you're not going to be able to show up and be the best person you would do and get the most work you would get done, and be the best person you could possibly be if there's a battlefield in your mind. You know what I mean? You're not going to live to your full potential if you're constantly going through that battlefield. And it's, a lot of different spectrums to that. And I've noticed, for me, one of the biggest things is the negative self-talk, and that shit's got to go. If I want to do better, if I want to make a change, if I want to start that man in the mirror theory, I got to let that shit go. I got to let that negative self-talk go. And I'm so happy that I decided to do that, and it feels like I feel a lot lighter. Wider. I feel a lot lighter now that I let that shit go. I really do. And sorry if you guys heard that. That was so unladylike. Okay. So now I want to talk about also time check, guys. It's 7:50. Okay. So steps to I want to talk a little bit about like steps to initiate change. I just kind of talked a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone. First of all, your first thing you want to do is come up with the goal. What is your goal? What is the thing you want to get out of life? And that is going to, no, it could be a short term, long term, it could be whatever kind of goal. I would prefer you start small, but it can be big. Come up with a goal that you have that can only be fulfilled by you showing up for other people. I mean, by you changing yourself so that, you know, the factors around you can change, okay? Come up with a goal like that. Like I said, mine was I want to have a better relationship with the people around me and form new, more healthy and meaningful relationship, right? Set that goal, right? Then we're going to talk about in depth. You know, I'm one of those people who write everything out. So I'm like visualizing a list. We're going to talk about steps you're going to take. You're going to write down, you don't have to, but this is what I would do. You're going to write down steps you're going to take to achieve that goal. You know what I mean? So I want to have a better relationship with people. First thing, have a better relationship with myself, you know. And that's hard, right? So that's like a whole subcategory within itself, but have a better relationship with myself. What does that look like? More positive self-talk, more self-care, more holding myself accountable, but being more compassionate for myself, saying a prayer, going to class, cheer stuff, doing stuff for me. Even if it's just like once a week I go and get ice cream or frozen yogurt now that I'm trying to lose weight, or something like that. Even if it's just something like that, having a better relationship so that I can confidently say at one point, I want to be able to confidently say, I really have a good relationship with myself and I feel like I truly am confident and I truly love myself. And, I obviously feel like that, but like I want to really feel it. You know what I mean? So set that goal, come up with these steps to achieve that goal. And then when you start taking those steps, um, and doing that inner work and showing up for yourself, going to therapy, doing shadow work, journaling, doing everything you possibly can, I promise you, you will see a change in your relationships with people. You will see yourself working harder. You'll see your, oh my God, I don't know why my vision like went blurry like 3 times. That's why I kept blinking. I'm like, what is going on? And you will notice a better change in your relationships and how you show up for people. And not only how you show up for people, but how you show up for yourself. And when you show up for yourself more, like I said, and I keep repeating myself, but you'll see you'll work harder than you did. You'll show up for yourself more than you did. You'll be able to be more compassionate with yourself. You'll be able to problem solve better. You'll be more attentive. You'll get better grades. Your friends and family will notice a positive change. You'll start getting a more vibrant glow. You'll start losing weight like I'm trying to do. Like you'll just see the steps come into place. And I promise you, and I'm starting to do this too, guys. Like this is a very new concept to me. I'm writing this out and I'm going right along with you. I'm not one of those people at all, one of those people who had everything figured out. And I feel like I come here and I sit here sometimes and I rant to you guys and about how to make your life better. And I don't practice what I motherfucking preach, y'all. I don't. I self-sabotage. I talk to myself crazy. I hold myself to unrealistic standards, y'all. I do all of it, y'all. And then I sit myself down and I go back to day one. That dedication, like I said, going back to day one and trying all over again, not being afraid to start over. So, yeah, set those goals for yourself, come up with steps to achieve those goals, and get out your motherfucking comfort zone. You can't do any of this if you scared to leave your comfort zone. It's scary, it's hard. Any season of change is hard, and I know that. I feel that, y'all. But like I said, would you be happy if you're in the same spot? If in 5 weeks you're in the same spot that you are right now, you're gonna be mad. If in 5 weeks I'm in this same bed in this same shirt talking to you guys about the same old fucking thing or something else, and I look the same, I feel the same, I'm the same weight, I'm still not showing up for people, I'm still not showing up for myself, I'm still practicing that negative self-talk, I'm not going to therapy, you know what I mean? Like not making those steps to change, I'm not gonna be happy with where I'm at. I'm not. I'm giving myself compassion right now because I know I have never been the version of myself that I am right now. So I have to have compassion with myself. But I also know I can do better. I know I have more potential. I know I can do better. So I know I will do better, and sorry, I don't even know what that was. I know I'll do better, and I know I can wait, guys, be quiet. I know I can do better. Sorry, that was so fucking ghetto, guys. Literally hang me out to dry. I know that I can do better, so I am going to do better. That sounded so fucking corny. Oh my god. But you guys get the gist of it. You get the gist of it. I hope. And I'm so sorry for that interruption. That was so fucking ghetto, but I kind of like can't stop and re-record that because I have to get going in a little bit. And probably like, where are you going? I actually have a cheer private. I have a cheer private after this with like this new coach I've been going to, and he's actually been teaching me how to tumble, guys. And I didn't think a big bitch like me could tumble. You see, negative self-talk. You see, you have to catch it. You have to catch it. Okay, I want to talk about the ripple effect of personal change. I've just talked about that a little bit, so I'm just going to reiterate it a little bit more. Um, Individual change can and will impact relationships, communities, and the broader world in a negative or positive way. It depends on which way you did your individual change. If you're changing individually for the better, your relationships will get better, the community will get better, and you will be able to show up for the broader world in a better way. If your individual relationship with yourself gets worse, then your relationships will get worse, the community will get worse, and you will not be able to show up for the broader world. I promise you that. I promise you that. It all starts with the man in the mirror. It all starts with you deciding you want to make that change. And it all starts with you showing up for your fucking self. You deserve it. Even if you feel the lowest about yourself, and it really breaks my heart that so many people suffer with self-esteem, because I promise you, when I meet people and they tell me they suffer with it, I look at them and I'm like, before you would have told me that, I would have been so, I don't even know why, because you are so beautiful, you're so kind, you're so loving, you seem like such a beautiful person. Why would you not like yourself? And I wrote this in my college essays the other day. We will never be able to experience ourselves the way other people experience us, and that is both a blessing and a curse. It's a curse because, like we are, it's our human nature, we might overanalyze some of the shit we do, but it's a blessing because we might be able to, you know what I meant. But it's a curse because I do not see the true extent of my loveliness, my kindness, my pureness, because I'm not able to experience myself from another person. And I feel like if I was, I would like myself a little more. I would show up for myself a little more. You know what I mean? You have to want the change. You have to know you deserve the change. That's not, I keep like motivationally speaking to you guys, and I promise I'm not that person. I'm just like, I'm feeling it. Okay, mom, I'm coming. I'm feeling it tonight, guys. And you hear that. That's my mom. Um, I'm your influence, guys. We're going to be checking in. We're going to be talking about this. I promise. I'm going to answer the fan questions before we go. But just to end on that good note, we are in this together, guys. We are both on this journey. I have my small journey. Well, my small goals. My two small goals are I want to lose weight and I want to do better in my relationships with people. Okay. So we're going to be talking about this. We're going to talk about how I'm working on my individual relationships with my individual relationship and how I'm going to see a positive impact. And I might even revisit this later because this is kind of a rush episode, but I really hope you enjoyed it. And I really hope you guys like this one. And let's get into fan questions. So guys, I recently, created a form. I created a form and I got some questions from you guys on the Ask Alex Anonymous. So Ask Alex Anonymous. So let's talk about it. Okay, I'm gonna start at the beginning. Biggest red floor big blah, 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 biggest red flag in friends to look out for. That they talk shit about their other friends. If they talk shit about their other friends, like I'm talking about the people that they're closest to, they will talk shit about you. I guarantee. People who talk shit about their so and so called best friend, they will talk shit about you at one point. So if you meet somebody and you're getting to know them and they talk shit about their other friends, you're going to be the topic of the next discussion, and do not become friends with them. What is your take on friend crushes? I know exactly who submitted this, and I love you. My take on friend crushes. I have friend crushes all the time. I get the biggest and best friend crushes. It's so fun because it's like you have like basically a crush on someone, but you only want like a platonic relationship, and the actual idea of having a platonic relationship with somebody excites you. I don't know. I love friend crushes, and if you have like when people tell me they had a friend crush on me, I'm like, stop, like stop. How to not care what other people think. Like for real, for real. Um, I have an whole episode on that, so you should probably go listen to that. But my biggest thing, like I said, the biggest way not to care what other people think about you is to like yourself, because then you won't really give a shit what people think about you. To have validation in your own opinion and realize nobody can judge you because nobody's fucking perfect except for Jesus Christ. How to be a girl's girl when some girls can be bitches. I love this. Oh my god. And I'm like skipping the hi Alex parts because I'm like so like in a rush. It's so hard to be my vision. Oh my god. It's so hard to be a girl's girl when some girls are not very girls girly. But it's I guess it's just maintaining your value of pretend always being kind to people, and then you'll just find your people. I literally screenshotted this quote today. I'm gonna read it for you guys because it's just that important and so beautiful. There are girls that will never support you because it's you. Then there are girls who will always support you because it's you. You just have to find your girls. I think that kind of answers the question. Just remain kind, you'll find your people, and when you find your people, you can be girls with them all the time. Hi, Alex. How do you change as a person and not go back to your old way? Oh my god, this is so perfect for the episode I just did. How do you not go back to something that was so consistent like a drug so you can better yourself and people around you? Now, addiction is very different than what I talked about. Addiction is so different. And as somebody who struggled with it in the past, I could do um, a complete episode on that. I might actually do that next. Um, my biggest small piece of advice until I do a bigger episode on this, realize that you're only hurting yourself and that you don't deserve to be hurt. And reach out for help. Addiction is hard, especially if you're addicted to a substance. Addiction is very hard. Reach out to, consider going to rehab, consider going to therapy. You more than likely will not be able to beat an addiction by yourself, and that is okay. Hey, Alex, what was it like moving schools? Um, Moving schools was not well, okay. It was actually a lot different than I transferred from Shy Arts to Whitney Young, and it was so different. Like the social environment was so different. Whitney Young kids were like so much like meaner, like I hate to say it, than Shy Arts kids. Like I feel like Shy Arts kids, it was just like a easier social environment, probably because there was like 600 kids in the whole school. But it was just a big adjustment, and it was actually really fucking hard. But I made some bad decisions when I first got to Whitney Young. I got associated with some of the wrong people, being young and dumb. I won't make that mistake in fucking college. But it was a lot for me. I'm gonna do an episode on being the new girl. Hi, Alex. Any friends from other schools? Yes, I have a lot. My best friend in the whole wide world goes to Northtown Academy. A lot of my friends go to Shy Arts. Um, oh, and I have two good girlfriends, well, three now, at Lincoln Park. And I feel like I have some more like like I know a lot of people at other schools, but like friends, most of my friends go to Shy Arts or Lincoln Park, which is hilarious. Okay, last question because I really do have to go. Hey, Alex, can you speak on your religion? Oh my god. No. That's such a deeper. I want to actually do a episode on religion. I am a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, which means I basically um keep the Saturday Sabbath day. I think it's a holy day, so I don't work. I don't do any of that stuff. Sabbath day is essentially for going to church and resting. Um, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian. I was born and raised one happened my entire life, and I'm a very proud Christian. I'll scream it from the rooftops, although you probably can't tell from the way I act. But that's okay. I'm working on it. I love God. I know God loves me. I'm working on my relationship with God. I'm working on building a better relationship with God. And I can definitely turn this into an episode because I can go on and about how God has been so good to me. Um, but I'm gonna do an episode on that, I promise. But I'm a Christian. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, and I'm so proud of it. And I love God, and I'll scream it from the top of the rooftops. Okay, guys. I'm so glad we got to do this episode. I'm so glad we got to talk about this. I think this episode went well. I'm so glad we got to talk about how change begins with us. You know, deciding that you want to break a habit, that you want to change as a person, it's so hard to even recognize that sometimes. So give yourself a pat back for being able to do that. You are so loved and you are so worthy, and you deserve to have an amazing life. And that will all start when you decide to start holding yourself accountable and to change who you are. But that doesn't mean you aren't a beautiful person. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week on another episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. Before you leave, please follow at Literally My Life MGTG on Instagram and TikTok because you know you want to stay updated on all things My Guide to Girlhood. And I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. Bye.